Modern cars are crammed full of features that are basically gimmicks for bad drivers and lazy drivers and bad lazy drivers. Things like lane keep assist, or that thing on the dashboard that nannies you to shift up or down, or LED lights on the outside that you're never going to see because you're inside the car driving, that sort of thing. But there are things that modern cars have lost, things that used to be on older cars and that are actually useful. Here are 8 of them. These days when cars are bi-zone, like this one, or even tri-zone or more, it's pretty incredible to think that back in the old days, cars had fresh air to the face and warm air to the feet. Basically, a bi-zone climate control that was actually good and made you feel nice while driving. Imagine it's a cold winter's day, you don't have to pump the whole car full of hot, hard to breathe air, or have to compromise by having like cold air coming in through the window or something like that. No, you have fresh air coming in through the vent, so it could be raining outside, you still have lovely fresh air to keep you alert and awake while you're driving, while you'd have some warm air pumped out, and that would keep your feet nice and toasty. It was marvelous, and for some reason, it's gone. Who remembers retractable antennas? Now, this one is fixed, it's for the GPS system, and in all honesty, it works fine, but it's not pretty and it's easily stealable. Now, one way of fixing this are those shark fin antenna that you see, and well, they're not exactly pretty. In all honesty, I tend to associate them with street thugs. You know, if they're worth their salt, they'll add one undeservedly to their 25-year-old E46. One way of solving this would be with retractable antennae again. After I think the 2000s, most car antennas for radio were incorporated into the bodywork. You just need an external antenna for GPS. But if it was retractable, it would go into the bodywork and thus not be easily stealable. This is my wife's 1994 Citroen AX. Now, by modern standards, this is completely and utterly bare bones. But even at the time, 31 years ago, this was as bargain basement as you can get. Yet, it has something that is superior to modern cars, and that is actual glass covering the headlights. Compare that to my much more modern, much better equipped, much more expensive Citroen C5 X7 Tourer, which has these plastic composite headlights, and it doesn't look like that on camera, but this is actually already rather yellow, and it's already been gone over, in terms of that polishing compound you put to make it seem a bit less yellow just a couple of years ago. Ask anyone, what would you prefer, glass headlamps or this? Everyone's going to tell you glass is far superior. I would like to make a case for physical gauges like the one my car has. First off, if a digital display goes wrong, that's it. You can't see anything. Whereas this has multiple redundancies. For example, just my car's got a speedo in the middle, and around, you can see it's got a second speedo, a needle around. Most cars don't have that, but anyway, the point stands, because if the speedo goes, I will have the revs, and I will also have the fuel gauge, for example, which is useful to know how much fuel you have. Things like that. The warning lights, they're all independent, so that's something better than physical gauges. Also, I think that physical gauges are probably easier to see with direct sunlight shining upon them. Of course, it's not something that happens all the time, but it does happen. And just for the final thing, that they look nice. I think physical gauges are much nicer with this 3D effect of it actually popping out at you. So, yeah. Physical gauges are good, but again, they're something that are going the way of the dodo. Now, this car seats are absolutely lovely. They're very comfortable, they're very well made, and also they're very adjustable. And they have this covering, leather or leatherette, and some cloth here. Wonderful. No argument from me, but I know it could be better, because I had a Volvo 460 that had velour seats, and they were just marvelous. You'd sit inside on a cold day in winter and just nestle your buttocks up against it, and yeah, it felt nice. Now, I have no idea why that became a thing of the past. velour seats were just so welcoming and made you feel so good inside your car. And of course there is I know people are going to say, oh, but it was hot on hot days. Yeah. I know that it was hot, but you know, just crack open a window or turn on the aircon, something like that. This would be easier to film if I was in either a right-hand drive car or if the stalk for the dip beam was on the other side, but ho-hum, we've got to make do with what we've got. Now, Citroen have the high beam controls right. They are correct. They are well made, because just a slight pull will give you high beams. And if you want to fix it in place, a hard pull will fix it in place. But for some reason, some manufacturers think that it's pushing the stalk forward. That's the way to go to fix the high beams in place, which is absolute excrement. I had a Mazda 6 with that and I hated it. Just because of that, I would have sold the car. The car was crap, by the way, on many criteria, but just that pushing it forward was enough of a deal breaker for me. It sucked. So instead of having this debate of which is better, which of course Citroen's system is, undoubtedly, we can sidestep that and go back to having the dip beam on the floor. Now, why is that a good thing? Because these days it seems that most cars are becoming automatic, or if they're going electric, they don't need a clutch pedal. Hence, you've got room to have a place on the floor where you can stamp to switch between dipped beams and high beams. I have no idea what was wrong with manual handbrakes. They were tried and trusted technology, and they were easy to use. You know, something like this, you'd pull on it, and yeah, that just looks wrong. You'd pull on it, you'd be stationary, and then you'd let the handbrake off, and you'd start moving. Simple as that. But no, we have to have electronic handbrakes such as this. Now, in all honesty, I've gotten used to it. It's easy to use, etc. But it's still annoying when you think that this is a sealed unit in the back, and if it goes wrong, it's not going to be something you'll be able to fix yourself. This is sort of like symptomatic of how lazy drivers have become. Many of these cars, I think maybe all of them, have some kind of hill start assist, which means that the car will be held in place if you're trying to start moving on a hill. It won't roll back. And that was something you used to control with a manual handbrake. So basically, this is for people who can't drive properly. Well, at least if they think they need it. One undisputable, is it indisputable or undisputable? One fact that cannot be disputed is how modern cars have grown much larger than older cars. Now, I know these are not the same class of cars at all. This is in fact a 90s Super Mini. However, a modern Super Mini such as the VW Polo is the same size as a VW Golf from 30 years ago. So yeah, modern cars are much larger. Then, for example, you've got SUVs, very large cars, big fat mobiles. And you expect that cars that were so large, they'd have also very large and very spacious interiors. But that's not the case, because most modern cars don't even have space inside for the humble spare tyre. The spare tyre has been part and parcel of motoring ever since motoring began. You'd have a flat tyre, you'd swap it out for your spare tyre, and you'd continue on your way and get the flat tyre fixed sometime in the future. But now, no. You have to have like a spray can of muck that you put into a flat tyre, hope that it holds, and then fill it up with air with a pump that you should have in the car. In all honesty, I'd rather have the spare tyre. So that's enough from me. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If there are other things that you think were useful that cars have lost, please leave them in the comments below. I really would like to know. Please subscribe, because I could do with all the subscribers that I can get. And please leave a like and please share, all of that stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in a future video. I bid you all farewell.